Welcome back to The Picture Show. I'm your host, Adam Stampley, and today joining me again is Michael Jennings. And today we'll be discussing Jordan Peele's latest thriller, Us, starring Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke. Let's take a look at the trailer.
To take the dunk out of the bag.
That's a classic right there.
Messing with that ain't no weed.
What does I got 5 on it mean?
It's about drugs.
It's not about drugs, it's a dope song. Don't do drugs.
Get in rhythm. There you go. There you go.
Creep on in, on in, on
Can't believe how big they've got.
Did you hear Gabe got a boat?
He's kidding, right?
He's not kidding.
Hey, I think it's vodka o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Jason?
Jason?
Where were you? I didn't know if you were lost. Stick with me, and I'll keep you safe.
There's a family in our driveway.
It's probably the neighbors. But y'all scared of a family? Hi, can I help you?
Zora, put your shoes on.
If you want to get crazy, we can get crazy. What are you people?
It's us.
They look exactly like us. They think like us. They know where we are. We need to move and keep moving. They won't stop until they kill us. Or we kill them.
Be careful.
Welcome back. Once again, I'm Adam Stampley, and I'm here today with Michael Jennings. And so, Us.
Yeah,
Like, first opinion on it.
incredible. I thought it was incredible. Love Jordan Peele. Could not wait for this movie. Totally delivered.
Do you think that this is on the same level or above Get Out?
I personally like Get Out a lot more because
I
I
do
was
too.
expecting more from this film.
Right.
But it was still incredible. It's hard to compare the two.
So it ran out an hour and 56 minutes, and it's rated a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Do you think that's a good...
I say that's a fair score, personally.
Yeah. Because it's not like... A 10 for me would have been like maybe a longer movie that really tied up everything.
Yeah.
That would have been a 10.
A more satisfying.
Yeah, because it kind of ends pretty abruptly, and then there's after you leave the theater, you're thinking about it, and you're like, that doesn't really make sense. But in the movie itself, you're so wrapped up in the story that you like are willing to believe anything.
Yeah, it's such a riveting movie. When you're watching it, you don't care about the stuff that doesn't make sense. You don't care about the craziness. You just want to know what's going to happen next.
Right.
And yeah.
So basically, we have the Wilsons family, who is Lupita Nyong'o, and she plays Adelaide, and then her doppelganger's name is Red, and then Winston Duke is her husband, Gabe, whose doppelganger's name is Abraham. And they're with their 2 kids, and they come to Santa Cruz, California, and they're at their beach house, and then they go to the boardwalk, and they run into some friends, the Tyler family, the main one being Elizabeth Moss' character, his name is Kitty, and they kind of have this fun day at the beach, but the whole time, Adelaide's character is kind of like having these flashbacks of her childhood where she had a really traumatic experience at this boardwalk. And that kind of comes up till the end. Like, it's the whole reason the whole movie even started. So why do you think, like, or why would you think that this movie tackled this subject matter? Like, the first one really had, well, Get Out, not the first one. Get Out had to do a lot with, like race relations, I think. And this movie's more about, like, helping out. It said the homeless, the hungry. It has the Hands Across America anthem through the whole movie. This whole, like, unity symbolic message that he's trying to send out. Why do you think they chose that for this one?
I mean, Jordan Peele is a very like politically sort of driven filmmaker. He likes to put messages in his films. He likes to, he likes to try and say something. So, I don't think he wanted to necessarily say the same things he said in Get Out in this movie. I think he wanted to tackle a different subject matter, maybe a more, Get Out had universal, messages in it, but maybe an even more universal message.
Yeah, and I love that he's using the horror genre to tell us a bit about our own society.
Yes.
Like he's like, this isn't just a scary movie. This is like what's actually happening in the world, and I'm just playing it up so that you can see it. And I like that he uses symbolism. Like the rabbits and the red and the scissors. It's very everything ties into each other. There's this one moment where the youngest one is hiding in the closet, and he uses the ambulance to keep the door like from shutting and locking him in. And then what do they escape in the end? They escape in an ambulance.
Yeah.
Like everything ties back into each other. Another example is, so Zora, which is the younger daughter, has this sweatshirt that says "though" on it, like "though," and I just thought it was like a teen like sweater, like just says "though" on it. But if you look it up, it means rabbit in Vietnamese. So he ties in like all these little things through the entire movie, and I think that makes it more interesting. Yeah, I found it out later as I was looking up facts for this movie. And another thing that he did in preparation for the movie was give the cast some horror movies to watch. Yeah. And the main ones were The Shining, It Follows, The Birds, A Tale of Two Sisters, and The Sixth Sense. Those were kind of the main ones. And I feel like those definitely come through the movie.
Yes.
Like you get those vibes throughout.
I definitely saw The Shining being pushed through a lot in here.
Yeah.
And those are all incredible movies, and he just knows how to make an incredible movie, and you can tell it's because he was inspired by these other incredible movies.
Yeah. Especially The Shining, because if you notice, the Tylers, Elizabeth Moss's character's family, they have two twins named the Tyler twins, and of course that's supposed to be like the Grady twins from The Shining. And even when you find their dead bodies up on the staircase, they're positioned the same way the twins from The Shining were when they were found.
I didn't notice that until someone pointed it out, and how did I not notice that?
When I was watching it in the theater, I was like, oh my gosh, like he really is like pushing the hammer home. So basically, to explain some of the plot, so they're on vacation and in their house, and then this family appears outside. And this family starts breaking into their house, and they start freaking out. They're trying to call the police. The police are going to be here whenever. And then they realize that it's their exact like replicas.
Yes, they're doppelgangers.
Yeah. And so then they have to deal with like, who are these people? Why are they here? I love when the doppelgangers finally come in, they all just sit down and just have a chat.
Yeah, it was not it was not a gory like slasher fest.
Right.
It was something
Let's
different.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that.
It was something completely like we had never seen before.
Okay. So when we come back, we will discuss more about the plot and the characters. But until then, let's take a look at our Netflix and DVD picks.
Millionaire, hey. Huh. Communication media, hands on. Yeah, know we hands on. Give you all the tools you need to succeed. Only at BPCC. Communication media, hands on. Yeah, you know we hands on. Giving you all the tools you need to succeed. Only at BPCC. Broadcasting, TV production, wanna be on television, we can get you started. Every day's a photo shoot, got fine art photography, know the film up, also making documentaries. Graphic designers, real fun, Photoshop, illustrators, characters come alive in computer animation. We got sound recorded with studio production without the training. How could I record this greatness? Lights, camera, action, come alive and be creative. Business of music, maybe you could be my next agent. Media for ministry, pitches where you wanna be. Looking for all the majors that breed creativity. Communication media ain't for the wannabes. Yeah, it's only for the gonna-bees. Got cool professors, master your craft with ease. Cool professors, master your craft with ease.
What are we talking about when we come back?
We can talk more about the plot and how it goes.
Scary Films back in 2015, London native Paul Rashid brings us his senior effort in the new sci-fi drama White Chamber. With a raging civil war going on in the near future United Kingdom, a woman wakes up in a blindingly white cell. Her captors aim to torture her and many others for information that could lead to the end of the war. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Welcome to the White Chamber. Good morning.
If you want some information, I have none.
We aren't interrogators. You've been given to us for a very different purpose. Do you have much to live for?
Who else is in here?
On the floor, please.
So this is what you came up with? A torture chamber? We'll get out of here. I promise you, we'll get out of here and we will run far, far away.
That's very sweet. But we have use for both of you yet.
I'm gonna rip your hearts out! Who is responsible for this?
That's all we have for this week's Friday Flick Pick. I'm Sarah Patterson. Now let's get you back to the picture show.
Welcome back. Once again, I'm Adam Stampley and this is Michael Jennings. And we were going to start talking more about Us's plot and the cinematography and the color and how everything was planned out. So what was your favorite part?
Honestly, I think my favorite part of the whole film was the cinematography. I thought it was gorgeous. I thought the way it was lit, the way it was colored, the way it was framed, I thought it was just incredible.
Mm-hmm. They could have definitely taken this movie and done very simple editing, simple cinematography, just because the plot would carry it. Yeah. But they were like, no, we have an interesting plot. We have great characters. Let's give it interesting style, and I love that because it just makes it more worth your while.
Yeah, you can tell they really cared about this movie. They didn't want to just make just another horror film, just another consumable film. They wanted to make something special.
Right. And so after the first attack by the doppelgangers, when they come to the house, they kind of chase them away to the Tyler's house. And this is the moment you find out that their family, the Wilsons, aren't the only ones who have these doppelgangers attacking them. Right. You find out it's happening everywhere. It's happening to everyone. It's not just them, which I didn't know. Going into this movie, I thought it was just their family, this situation. This is a global event. The whole world is dealing with this apocalypse of clones, which I think was I was not expecting it, didn't know it was coming, and I think it added another depth of this is the end of the world.
Yeah.
And they even mentioned that earlier in the script when the daughter is I know this family doesn't care about the end of the world, when she's talking about conspiracies. And then even the Jeremiah 11:11 that you see pop up multiple times even talks about the end of the world.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, wow, it's not what I thought this movie would be, but I'm glad it went in that direction. Because you could only do clones attacking you for so long.
Yeah, it would have had it needed to go a different direction, or it would have become very boring and tedious. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a bold move, but a good move.
Yeah, it was a very it went quickly from horror thriller to sci-fi.
Yeah.
It was whoa. But I liked the that twist. So the Tyler family immediately gets killed. Their doppelgangers were not playing around. They cut them off real quick. They had this hilarious scene of Elizabeth Moss's character, Kitty, telling her fake Alexa device to call the police, and it starts playing the rap song. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah,
but it starts playing, and then
absolutely,
her husband's doppelganger pretends that he's gonna help her up, and then he's which I thought was so funny that they that made the doppelgangers evil, but also like kind of funny.
Yeah, and it was very much they adopted the evil doppelgangers adopted the personality of their good counterparts.
Right, because like the normal husband was already a jerk, so it makes sense that his doppelganger would be a jerk too. Yeah. And then Kitty's one, whose name was Dahlia, wants to be pretty in the mirror. Like she started putting on lipstick. She was looking at her hair, like how Kitty was, because Kitty was very vapid and very like face value. And so even her doppelganger was trying to be like pretty, which so creepy. That scene in the mirror was
and
so
that
weird.
that leads right into the performances in this movie were absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, it's well casted.
Yes.
Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke previously starred in Black Panther together.
Yes.
I've never seen Black Panther. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen Black Panther.
Were they in it a lot?
They were B characters. They weren't huge, but they definitely played their roles in that well too.
Well, they interacted really well. Like I was actually rooting for their family. Like I really liked all of their individual characters and like their past and how they interacted with each other. I was like, usually I'm the one that wants like the evil people to win.
Yes.
But I was like, I want the good people to win. Like I like these people.
They played them well.
They did. Yeah. So then once we move past the Tyler house, we eventually find our way back to the boardwalk. And that's where the third act of the movie, the finale, where everything gets explained, everything gets explored. Oh. So they come to the boardwalk, and Red, who is the doppelganger of the lead character, steals the son and takes him below the funhouse and like into the subway tunnels and like all these deep tunnels underground. And you find out that the doppelgangers came from this government experiment that was used. I read that it said that they were used to like, I guess, bring more people in to help with the homelessness and like hunger problem, but then it got abandoned, and so they were left underground, and so they've been eating like rabbits since for years, and so they're all crazy because they've been living underground, just repeatedly like doing the motions of their copy upstairs, as they called it, because they were downstairs. And so then you find out that Red and Adelaide were actually switched many years ago as kids.
Yes, the very first scene of the movie when Adelaide sees her doppelganger when she was a kid, you think it's just been scaring her the whole time, but it turns out she was the doppelganger.
Yeah. So, spoiler, Red was the actual Adelaide as a kid. Yeah. And they switched in the funhouse. And I don't feel like that plot, I don't think that twist was needed.
Yeah. And I didn't buy it. There's no possible way that, I don't know, I didn't like it. I didn't buy it.
And I guess it does explain why Red was the only one that could talk.
Yeah.
Because she did have those few years in her childhood that she was learning to talk. So that's why she was put on a pedestal to lead the rest of the clones out of the tunnels.
I did notice that too, and that's a good little, just attention to detail that they showed. But.
So when we come back, we're going to talk more about the money that this movie made and also the future of Jordan Peele's movies. And right now we're going to take a look at our Friday Flick Pick.
It's been more than 5 minutes. No, it hasn't.
Hey, can you keep
I want it. It's my turn. No, it isn't.
Please, just keep it down.
I remember days when just driving down the street would give me anxiety. And now, look at me.
Don't get me wrong, I still don't love crowded places. But it's good to get out again.
Noises like that used to make me hit the deck. But now, I can keep going.
Transitioning from the military can be tough. We all have unique experiences, but many veterans are facing similar challenges. Life goes on, but some things are different now. Visit MakeTheConnection.net to watch our stories and learn ways to create the story you want to live. No one can write it for you. Make sure it's a good one. Make the Connection.
Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Netflix and DVD picks. I'm Sydney Parker. Let's get right into it. First up on Netflix this week, we have Triple Frontier, starring Ben Affleck and Oscar Isaac. Loyalties are tested when 5 former Special Forces operatives reunite to steal a drug lord's fortune, unleashing a chain of unintended consequences. Next up, we have Layer Cake, starring Daniel Craig and Sienna Miller. A successful cocaine dealer gets 2 tough assignments from his boss on the eve of his planned early retirement. Then we have Bleach.
When high schooler Ichigo is suddenly given Reaper abilities, he wants to give them back, but he'll have to reap some souls first. Coming out on DVD this week, we have Aquaman, starring Jason Momoa and Amber Heard. Arthur Curry, the human-born heir to the underwater kingdom Atlantis, goes on a quest to prevent a war between the worlds of ocean and land. Then we have Second Act, starring Jennifer Lopez and Vanessa Hudgens. A big box store worker reinvents her life and her life story and shows Madison Avenue that street smarts can do. Stan and Ollie is next, starring John C. Reilly and Steve Coogan. Laurel and Hardy, the world's most famous comedy duo, attempt to reignite their firm careers as they embark on what becomes their swan song, a grueling theater tour of post-war Britain. That's going to do it for this week's Netflix and DVD picks. I'm Sydney Parker. Let's get you back to the picture show.
Welcome back. We were just about to discuss the box office for this movie. So it only cost $20 million to make. They kept it very, I don't know, like they used their money well, because I wouldn't say this was a low budget film, but it didn't need to be. It kind of used, it was very simple.
Right. It had the money it needed.
Yeah.
So,
and opening weekend it made $71 million. So it made
its money back.
Like over double its budget back. And I think it's just going to keep going.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I read that all over, like in the world in total, it's already made $88 million.
That's incredible.
It's amazing, and it's just going to keep going because there's so much buzz around this movie.
And it's not a movie you can see once and be happy you saw it once. You have to see it.
I kind of want to go back.
Yeah, I mean,
just to like, because now knowing what I know about the movie, I want to go back and catch more stuff.
Same here.
Because you know, the first time you watch a movie, everything kind of goes by you, but then the second time is when you really notice things. And so I would definitely rewatch this movie. So we were talking about the twist at the end and how we didn't feel that it was necessary. I did like that they left it kind of up in the air with her son kind of questioning his mother's behavior.
Yeah, but like, how would he know?
Yeah,
he's only known her, so
right. But I think he's smart because he's seen how she interacts with the doppelgangers. Notices she never kills any of them. She checks on them. She checks on her husband's one. She checks on the daughter one in the forest. She wants the son one to not die. She's begging him not to go into the fire. She's begging him to come with them. The only one she ever kills is herself, out of like rage.
Yeah.
So I feel like even though she switched out for a better life, I think she's still sympathetic with the doppelgangers. Besides the twin one that she had to kill out of self-defense because she was tripping out of everywhere.
Yeah.
Which I loved them. I thought they were funny. They could have gotten more because I thought they were interesting.
Yeah.
They could have done more like flexible, weird, you know?
Yeah.
Like
they could have made that really
Grudge.
creepy.
Yeah.
I think their deaths were incredible. I think that whole sequence of them were incredible.
So it's definitely left up in the air. Obviously, I don't think this movie's going to get a sequel.
No.
But I do like that you can kind of create your own sequel in your head.
Yes.
Because they give you the necessary tools to continue the story, but they're not going to do it, obviously. I don't think Jordan Peele... he's not the type that would do sequels, because he kind of gets everything in one movie.
Yeah.
He's also doing The Twilight Zone coming up, and this makes me so excited for that, because I can see it's going to be made well. He's also doing Candyman, the Tony Todd horror movie from the 90s. I think he's going to revamp it and make it so much more, just better quality. Because the one from the 90s was kind of like a cheesy like TV movie, but this one's going to be like serious, the bees, the body ripping open. So I think Jordan Peele has a really good future in movies, and I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, just with Get Out and Us, he's one of my favorite directors of the last 5 to 10 years, I think. I think he's only going to get better, and I cannot wait to see.
I know. I just want to already see the next movie because I can already tell his style with movies, and this movie is no exception. Like, I might have problems with a few of the plot choices, but this movie is so good.
Directorial wise and
everything else,
story wise, it's incredible.
It really makes up for it. Well, that'll do it for this week's picture show. Once again, for Michael Jennings, I'm Adam Stampley, and make sure to tune in for next week. We'll see you there.